Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to look at tanks that do no damage. So if you play these tanks, technically speaking, if you're looking at statistics, you're not going to do any damage. So these are the top 5 tanks that are the lowest average damage in tier 6 over the last update. Now, I am actually surprised with some of these tanks. Now, the bottom two, well, the number 5 and number 4 have actually exactly the same number. So coming in at number 5 is the Object 260. Coming in at 1,720 average damage, it is the 5th lowest average damage tank in tier 10. Now, the Object 260, when it was first released, I actually had high hopes for this tank. I really did have high hopes. I thought it was going to be fantastic. I thought it was going to be the new IS-7. Yeah, and things change, you know. It's I don't know if it's meta or the tank actually, it wasn't as good as I originally thought. But yeah, coming in at number 5, it's, you know, 1,720 average damage. It's not like really low, and there are going to be a couple of games that you can have high damage. I mean, 3,600 damage here for me, not too bad. So that is 1,720 average damage over the last update. The same with the next tank. Now, with this tank, I do actually love. It's the Object 268 version 4. Now, not a lot of people actually like this tank. People actually think it sucks, where, for me, I love it. I enjoy playing it. I think it's strong, especially if you play it in certain positions. It's got really good armor. If you start to angle, then, yeah, your armor profile does become a lot weaker. The bottom plate, I think, is quite strong. For what it is, and ultimately I do think it is a Object 268 on acid, but yeah, people are still not performing well in this tanks. Again, 1,720 average damage over the last update is quite low, to be fair. That is really low. However, again, there will be games that you can just bounce everything, that you can penetrate everything, and then there's going to be games where nothing goes your way. This is the same kind of thing as a Death Star, you know. Some games really go your way and you pen everything, even with Hesh, and you're like, wow, how did that pen? But then there's other games where you could aim, and then you still end up missing. It's like that with this tank as well. You can bounce everything that comes your way, then the next game you're not going to bounce everything. But according to statistics, it still is not performing well. So the Object 268 version 4 coming in at number 4. Now, coming in at number 3, again, is actually joint with number 2. 1,660 average damage. Now, the Badger. It is the Badger, and a tank that I used to really love. The armor profile on this, when you're in certain positions, is very good. If you're in a hold down position, for example, it is very difficult to be able to penetrate this tank. But over the years, over the months, you know, I've kind of got bored with this tank, and that's mainly because I personally think that there is a better tank that is very similar to this tank, which of course is the XM66F. So I would rather play the XM over the Badger any day of the week, especially nowadays. But before, you know, I used to love the Badger. I thought the Badger was fantastic. And again, when it was first released, especially during testing, it was a tank that you wanted to stay clear of. You did not want to be in front of a Badger, especially if he is in a hold down position. Kind of like the position I'm just about to get in with this E4. It's very difficult to pen. You have the DPM, you have the gun depression, and you had the armor. It was a fantastic tank. But obviously nowadays, 1,660 average damage, people are not performing well in the Badger. And like I said, same for the number 2. And that is the Lion. 1,660 average damage. Now, I'm not surprised with this tank, to be fair. I did think that when it comes to tier 10s, this would be there. I did think that the Object 260 would be there as well. Maybe some of the auto-loaders, maybe, you know, potentially, because people, I mean, AMX 50B is a good tank, but it can easily be dealt with. The same as other tanks like the Death Star. I really thought the Death Star would be really low as well. But yeah, I expected this to be low, 1660, but yeah, the second lowest in the game. The second lowest tier 10 in the game when it comes to damage being dealt at the moment. A lot of that will be down to not many people actually owning the tank. And again, things like the Waffen F1, I thought that would maybe even be the lowest, because it's a very, very difficult tank to play. But yeah, I'm not surprised at the Lion being there. It's an okay tank. I mean, it could be better. It does have that reserve shell. It has the auto reloader. So, you know, I love the auto reloaders. I just feel the tank itself could be just a little bit stronger. Whether that's better armor profile, I don't know. But yeah, people are obviously not performing well in this tank. Now, number one, I was actually very, very shocked by. It is the T62A. Now, okay, maybe the 140, but the T62A coming in at the lowest damage being done in tier 10 at the moment. This is a very, very good tank. Like, it is a very good tank. Wargaming over the years have just gave this tank so much love that it is very easy to do damage. It's got great DPM, like fantastic DPM for just over 5 seconds on your reload. So you can potentially be just continuously shooting like every 5 seconds or every 6 seconds without adrenaline, if you're running with the calibrated shells. But I mean, even now, 1623 damage I've done. That is more than the average damage. 1600 dead on is the damage done in this tank over the last update across everybody. And it's a very popular tank as well. So people are just not performing in this tank at all. I mean, the Lion is performing better. It's crazy. Well, every tier 10 tank is performing better when it comes to damage than the T62A. So I'm shocked. I'm very, very shocked, because it's a fantastic tank. It's a popular tank. And other tanks out there that are very similar to the T62 are actually performing better. As I've said, like the Object 140, the Object 907, you know, these are all performing better than the T62A. So very shocking to see that this is the worst performing tank in tier 10 at the moment. Let me know, are you shocked about any of the tanks on this list? If you are, hit me in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.